The new Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro, which sounds not unlike an expensive item on the menu at an upmarket gentleman's club, somewhere perhaps like Head in the Clouds or Crack of Dawn, maybe even the Meat Society. But it's actually a medium Chinese SUV costing kind of mid-30s to mid-60s, Australian. Well, that vehicle has scored 5 stars on safety. Yay. Thanks, ANCAP. This is despite holding the driver's door open not once but twice for the Grim Reaper in both the offset head-on crash test and the oblique pole crash test. That's a bit crap, isn't it? It was also officially rated as marginal, which is the second most craptacular option in both automatic emergency braking and emergency lane keeping assistance. Open the pod bay door, Hal. Cherry in the house. This is how ANCAP rolls today, right? It does my friggin' head in. It's like Oprah, like you get 5 stars and you get 5 stars. Cars can be quite unsafe and still get 5 stars. At this point, I would argue that a 5-star ANCAP safety rating is pretty much meaningless because all of the context has been emasculated. It would, of course, be a delight to interview the volleyball referee on all of this, but please don't be breath holding on that, if you're a subscriber. So, the Lapdance Pro 7 Cherry on top is a 5-star death trap of a sort, flying under the 5-star radar. But you won't believe what it has got going for it. This is pretty special. I guess, dude, you're never gonna get it. I'm John Cadogan from AutoExpert.com.au, new cars cheap, Australia only, website, card. You've seen the movies, right? We all have. Like, it would not be a proper action blockbuster without a car plunging into deep water with someone like Jason freaking Bourne at the wheel. On fire underwater if it were a Tesla. Everyone wants a Tesla under their tree, but hey, few are prepared to embrace the stark reality. And if this happens under your freaking tree, it's your fault, dude. It's completely on you. You parked it there, you drove it there. It's nothing to do with that company's crap overall quality. Let's just set the record straight on that. Anyway, the new Cherry Lapdance Jiggy Pro 7 comes standard with a special hammer designed to break the side window, thus facilitating your egress from underwater hell, because you're obviously not Jason Bourne or even Jason Statham. But you will save Tiffany from Davy Jones's locker, and she will be very grateful to you and your special hammer, dude. Very grateful indeed. This report is sponsored by NordVPN. Get 4 extra months of Nord free now at nordvpn.com/AEJC. Say you're in a cafe one day and you think you've just connected to the free Wi-Fi. But in fact, a hacker has just inserted himself between you and the internet and he's about to start ripping you off properly. How would you even know? This is called a man-in-the-middle attack. It's one of the most common ways to get hacked. But there's no law that says you have to be the next victim. You need countermeasures, and that's what NordVPN does. NordVPN does the stuff that you and I don't understand in the background. Encrypting your data, hiding your IP address, locking everything down, basically. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC now. The 2-year plan discount is huge right now. Plus, you're going to get 4 extra months free. nordvpn.com/AEJC. Link in the description. Just subscribe, download the app and connect. One click later, your IP address is shielded, your online traffic is masked with NSA-level encryption across as many as 6 of your devices. NordVPN is the fastest VPN on the planet. It costs only about as much as 1 cup of coffee every month to keep your data, your identity, and your devices secure. Because your location is masked, you'll be able to access streaming and other services that might be blocked where you live. Plus, you can continue to watch your favourite content when you travel. You might even be able to score some great deals on travel and accommodation that are not available at home. That happens all the time. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC now, boost your security and enjoy that discount plus those extra 4 months of free subscription time. It's totally risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/AEJC, link in the description, and thanks to Nord for sponsoring this episode. This latest vacuous thought bubble from ANCAP, vitally evaluating submarine mode capability across all new cars, encapsulates 2 of my very favourite things, the macabre and the hilarious. Kind of like ex-wife number 4, or as I used to refer to her privately, goth spice. We'll get to that in a minute. This batshit crazy star rating system first, right? It measures the performance of the dummies in the crash tests, and it assigns 5 levels of crash severity or likelihood of injury, if you want to think about it like that. The levels are good, adequate, marginal, weak, and poor. Green, yellow, orange, brown, and red, respectively, because they're colour-coded. Red rhymes with dead, obviously, and brown being the colour of excrement, appropriately enough. Except if you... Elon Musk. I don't think he poops, actually. Kind of like Kim Jong-un. They're both exempt for some reason. At least that's what I heard. So, the Cherry Girlfriend Experience Pro 7 gets a colour of poop rating for the driver's chest injury likelihood in the movable progressive deformable barrier test, which simulates a clipping head-on crash, and also in the oblique pole test, which simulates sliding at 45 degrees into a power pole or some other cylindrical pole-like thing that just doesn't yield. These are both the kinds of results where the paramedics out there in the real world get quite anxious about you crashing, like flatlining, en route to the trauma centre. And the trauma team is going to be standing by with a thoracotomy tray ready, if you make it. I have actually stood there inside the trauma centre once, and I've heard the trauma director say directly across, he's there, she's there, to the clinical nursing consultant, and he goes, "Get the tray." In this situation, it's like wall-to-wall game faces. Everyone's got the PPE on and they're just waiting. In this case, the kid with a hole in his heart, torn there by the car crash, actually survived. So that was something of a frown that went upside down. Quite dramatic watching it, however, and I'd have to say that it changed me forever, right? How I thought about road safety. Like, right or wrong doesn't really matter. It's just irrelevant. I just never want to be on that trolley and hear a dude tell another dude to get the frickin' tray, and you don't want to be there either. So I have to say, it's just ever so slightly fucked to have a star rating system that confers the highest possible honour upon any car that delivers a colour of poop outcome, not once, but twice in official testing. Like, how does that make sense? It's a ridiculous inversion of a meaningful rating system. And you're paying for it, dude, because ANCAP is taxpayer funded. Sticking with the irrelevance theme here, but moving on. ANCAP has started including Jason Bourne-style underwater egress capability in its ratings. Yes, that's new. I shit you not, I couldn't make that up. The doors have to unlatch even if water or something else takes out the 12-volt supply. Like, they have to manually unlatch. never mind the tons of load from the differential pressure if there's water outside and an airspace inside. You want to go that way, you're going to need to be cranky Bruce Banner to overcome all of that load, but hey. And according to ANCAP, the windows have to go down reliably for a minimum of 10 minutes after immersion. From 2023, manufacturers are awarded points for door and window opening functionality when submerged in water with uninterrupted operation of windows or the provision of a break glass safety device eligible for scoring. This is, of course, beyond just absurd, but let us not stop all of that before the party gets into full swing. Of the 9 vehicles rated by ANCAP this year, 3 have demonstrated window opening performance, with the Tiggo 7 Pro the first model to offer a safety escape hammer to assist with window exit. Well, how fucking exciting. Firstly, let me say with the utmost sincerity that you can stick that cherry fair up your arse. A metaphoric rather than literal proposition, I assure you, but for the life of me, I suspect I have uttered those words before. Go figure. Secondly, I really want that hammer. Where in the vehicle is it located? How easy is it to find in the aftermath of the full symphony in Airbag Flat and the sundry violence of a car crash? What exactly are the instructions for its deployment in the owner's manual? I'd like to read that, possibly twice. ANCAP doesn't test rollover safety, but now they're including this gripping frickin' Red October assessment. Calling it nonsense would be to do actual nonsense a gross disservice. Is drowning in a car even a real concern? How often do people actually drown in cars? Well, according to Gerald Dworkin, a professional aquatic safety and water rescue consultant with Life Saving Resources Incorporated in America, of course, about 1,500 vehicles every year make like Tiffany near a hot tub. Uncover me, I'm going in, kind of thing. She just has the most formidable ballast tanks, that woman. I am always in awe, dude. 1,500 cars going in the drink, okay? It sounds like rather a lot, but for context, there are roughly 5.5 million car crashes in the home of the First Amendment every year. So that's only 3/100ths of 1% ending up in the drink. That's like what? 3 in 10,000 or something. Like, give me a break. Kind of remote as probabilities go. A bit more likely than winning lotto, perhaps, but a lot less likely than sunrise tomorrow. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in America has a fatality analysis reporting system, and that system says that between 2004 and 2007, there were 387 traffic fatalities where accidental drowning was listed as a contributing cause of death. In the same period, there were something like 42,500 traffic fatalities. This is just under 1%, in other words. It's a measure of drowning as a contributing factor, but not necessarily as the primary cause of death, okay? This means the less than 1% includes people who suffered a fatal injury and then drowned, or maybe they were unconscious when they drowned, you know, and it is quite hard to find that special hammer when the big grey freaking server room is busily rebooting. Now, this study here from Turkey echoes the NHTSA's findings, right? It was published more recently in 2022, and it tracked fatalities from 2009 to 2016 in the eastern Black Sea region, which is close to every kind of water you could want, mainly the sea and rivers and lakes. They got it all, okay? It was published in the Turkish Journal of Trauma and Emergency Surgery. The authors report that of 7,124 car crash autopsies that took place at their clinic, 41 resulted in drowning as a cause of death. 30 in a river or a stream, 7 in a lake, and 4 in the sea. That's 0.6% overall. 6 in every 1,000 deaths. Now, in 14 of these cases, which is 1/3 of the drowning deaths, blood alcohol concentration was between 0.093 and 0.306. Hashtag respect. 0.306, dude. I don't think I could even find the fucking car at 0.306, much less get the key in the ignition, so Jesus. 0.093 to 0.306 would be roughly just under double the legal limit here to 6 times the legal limit. Dude, good luck finding that special hammer or the door or the window or even the fucking water at 0.306. And hey, drugs were detected in 2 other in-car drowning cases while we're here. We're talking about scenarios like this, right? Which is a shot from that recent Turkish report. We're talking about coming off the road. Thanks a lot, ADAS. I guess the lane keeping assistance really was shit after all. Then, after you come off the road, you're going to roll down a big fuck-off embankment, sustaining Christ knows what injuries in the process, possibly being unconscious, before parking in the river and drowning, possibly with a blood alcohol concentration of 0 point totally shit-faced. Way too drive to drunk, dude. Like, come on. Also, very difficult to use the special hammer stone cold sober with a broken frickin' arm and 5 busted ribs and bilateral tension pneumothorax. Perhaps because your 5-star shitbox offers colour of poop chest protection. The risk of drowning in a car crash is so ridiculously low as to be completely irrelevant. Come on. The fact that ANCAP is including this macabre and hilarious submarine sideshow assessment in its bullshit rating system while contemporaneously remaining 100% ostrich on the relative rollover safety of vehicles, for one example, just highlights to me how ridiculously out of touch this organisation has become. This is the kind of thing that they're going to show to ministers who would not know shit from clay on a club sandwich in the prayer room, frankly. So it's a kind of show and tell for a ministerial pat on their head and, of course, to keep the all-important fat stacks of taxpayer cash flowing. At least that's how I see it. It's got me stuffed why no consortium of car makers has stood up to this bullshit and just handed ANCAP a giant get-fucked burger on the issue of this daunting climb to the summit of Mount Irrelevance. Or is that the Mariana Trench? We are going that way, aren't we, after all? Even collectively, the car industry has no balls. They won't stand up to anyone. But I still want that Cherry Pro lap dancing hammer. I really want one. And so do you, dude. Admit it. I honestly can't articulate to you here and now why I want it, but I so do. I wonder if they'd sell me one.